Okay, so you are the developer of, what is it, SomaliScam.com?
Scan. It's funny. It's
Scan.
both. It's
SomaliScan.
both. Yeah.
Let me pull it up. SomaliScan.com. So this is you found, where did you find all this data, and what are you showing? Like, explain it to people what this is, because it's fucking beautiful.
Well, thank you. It's got a really long way to go, but essentially, the first page is obviously a map of all the states, and you can click on each state. Like, I've been updating California, and everything takes a long time to load because there's just so much. But basically, this started as a way to, like, as a joke, and I was just going to showcase like the top 10, daycares by their income from the government.
Yeah.
And I had the info just from like news and whatever else, and I did that and it worked, and then I was like, oh well, like what about the other ones? I want to see, how much they're all getting, and then I found out you couldn't, and I thought that was ridiculous, and it is. So Minnesota is actually not even like halfway done in terms of like total spending.
Okay.
Because it's all behind Freedom of Information Act requests. Nothing is public. I mean, it's like the most opaque spending ever. It's unbelievable. I was like shocked. I thought that there would be like, some sort of a registry or like receipt database where you could go through and see what.
Isn't it crazy how like everything that they do it does not work the way you would think it would? Like, I feel like that is the reaction that everybody has whenever they learn about any of this shit working at the government. It's like, oh, you guys do it in a totally opposite way than anyone who's ever set anything up would do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys managed to do it totally upside down. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what did you find in your first go through? Was this before you made that giant X post about all the scams that you found?
Yes, this was the start of it.
Okay.
So, well, I just started like getting public data from anywhere that I could, like a couple of websites, usaspending.com, I think, and then there's openthebooks.org or .com. There's a few others like checkbook something. There's and each state has their own portal for all of this as well.
Yeah.
But the main thing was just like getting as much easily gettable information that I could, which would be things like things that you could just download as opposed to things that you need Freedom of Information Act requests. Wait on somebody to email you back. So I built a scraper system, essentially, as much data as they can from public government websites.
Okay.
And all of the states they're in. So essentially, it just was inhaling information. Anything that was on the internet that related to spending that was from a verified source, I tried to scrape it, and if I couldn't scrape it, I eventually, like Florida, I had to manually download a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of how it started. And I started in Minnesota, and there's just not much that's front facing. Minnesota is one of the worst states in terms of transparency, and also they are one of the most entrenched Medicaid, in like government spending. They just love being stupid with money.
Yeah.
And they're always the first ones to suggest a new way to spend money. So I kind of wanted to do Minnesota, but I really couldn't. And then I found a few other states like Ohio and Indiana were somewhat public with their spending data. Texas is another one. Florida is another one. It's kind of impossible to scrape Florida, but they have most of the data there. I found $6 billion missing from the Florida budget. They're supposed to tell you what they spend it on. And really, I mean,
okay, so wait, did you invent like what you did with this site? Because you started it like right after Nick Shirley did that expose of Minnesota daycare fraud, right? Is that okay? what you started here, I saw like explode after you did it, and especially after you won the $1 million by exposing it. Now it's like every day I see some kind of, I don't know, new vibe coded like deep data dive. And then the HHS just said they're just opening all their data, I think yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So you started this. Like you basically started this like whole revolution of, okay, let's look at the data. Let's see where all the money went.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say I started it. I mean,
really,
Elon
did. That's why you got the $1 million, right? Like, it's like
that's true.
Yeah.
I suppose I was the first one to just kind of try, but then there was an appetite for it, you know. And if I hadn't, if there hadn't been so much positive, if it wasn't like the reception wasn't so strong, I probably would have just not continued with it. I mean, I love America. I want to help save America, but I also understand that I need to make money and I need to support myself. And that was kind of my priority. And it was just kind of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, you know? And in terms of just like clicks and people, I was like shocked. And I didn't do this, you know, for selfish purposes solely, but if it wasn't getting clicks and it was a waste of time, I would have stopped and gone on to something else that was conducive to both. And I started getting, you know, tons of people were reaching out. I met a ton of crazy people that I never thought I would even talk to. And, you know, I mean, people from Doge and HHS reached out and we sort of workshopped the data dump.
Dude, that's awesome. Did you meet Big Balls?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was you know, it was really a needed thing is what I found. And I was really happy to do it.
Well, wait, what were the HHS guys like? What were the Doge guys like? Like after the election, it seemed like Doge was crazy, and then they just kind of like fizzled out, or I don't see anything about them anymore since then. What's going on
they're
there?
They're a little bit, I mean, they're obviously motivated. They are really smart. They're kind of behind, and it's all in spreadsheets. And I mean, just the manpower that it would take for them to do the work that is in front of them would be immense if it weren't for AI. And that's kind of why I think this is started now, is that you can basically, I mean, I was spending probably more than I had to, but even baseline on tokens I was spending, I think I could have maybe the most, if I was really budgeting, I probably maybe $2,000. I ended up spending like $10,000 a month on just pure tokens on Anthropic and OpenAI. And
I remember seeing that. Like that was one of the weeks you were supposed to call in. I remember you posting that, and I was, you know, Mike Cernovich.
Yeah.
So he's always on this kick of like, how come right-wing billionaires don't ever help? Like they don't fund anything. They don't help any of the little guys ever. Like, you know, unless it's related to Israel. I saw you posting how much you were spending on tokens, and this was right before I went to the hospital. This was probably the last thing I was going to do before I went to the hospital. I was I was tagging him, and I was like, hey, by the way, this is a perfect example of like a right-wing patriot or project that is getting ignored by billionaires, because it was some kind of like you were spending $2,000 on tokens or $5,000 on tokens, which is just crushing. Which is a crushing amount of money for a normal person. But for them and what they're used to spending, it's just nothing. Like the amount that they dump into campaigns is nothing. And I was writing, hey, like somebody's got to fucking fund this. And by the time I got out of the hospital, you had $1 million from Elon. I was like, there's no fucking way. Somebody actually did it. Like, I can't believe this shit is happening in my lifetime. That's way more than I thought this guy should have got.
Yeah, right. It
was like the last thing in my drafts was somebody help this fucking guy. And then I come out, I was like, it's got $1 million. Don't help him that much. Give me a little bit for the thought.
Yeah, the thought of it. Well, I mean, the donations before even the $1 million, they were pretty immense. Like, I mean, Mark Andreessen, just he sent me a little bit of money, kind of no strings attached, as a thank you, and I was kind of funded for the next 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Just for the article, and obviously now, you know,
you're funded for life now. I mean, this is your thing now.
I don't know about for life, but can definitely.
Bro, you're the data guy. This is gonna be like, this is your data beaver. Whatever you were before, that's gone. That shit's over. You're fucking data beaver now.
Right, yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, the capabilities have certainly expanded. The runway is a little bit longer in terms of, because I mean, the main thing, like I was pretty successful before this. It wasn't my first time making $1 million, but $1 million. I mean, I was it's not like I'm freaking swimming in it, but
yeah,
$1 million is still, like, I had to stop basically everything I was doing, and do this and work on the data and build, you know, systems to analyze the data better.
Yeah.
For like anywhere from 12 to 18 hours a day, and so my normal income was basically just on pause, which is something I think I'm fortunate enough to be able to do. It's just like, you know, I got a little bit of gas in the tank. Let's see if we can make it work. And this is, yeah, you're right. It's kind of totally shifted the playing field for me. I think, I mean, you know, I have to be a steward. You know, I can't just like go and buy a Lamborghini, you know. I think that'd be just misrepresenting the spirit of it all, and I want to steward it well so that it can, you know, be used to fund like my project and my sort of ideas about how to get and analyze this data better.
Yeah, you could rent a Lamborghini, probably. You know?
Oh yeah.
That would be.
Well,
okay.
I mean, I already had a Lamborghini, so it's okay.
What kind of Lamborghini did you have? What the hell is this guy's background? Not my first million. That's what he says. Hey, Elon wants to give you a check. Not my first million, but I'll take it.
Well, I'll take the check. You know, but I mean, like, $1 million is still a shitload of money. It's not as much money as it used to be, and, you know, especially after tax, which is why I'm now, you know, I'm buying as much compute as I can.
I saw that.
Like, realistic.
Yeah.
Because it's a write-off, and it's something that makes sense. So it's more of like a just investment money. And you know, went out to dinner with my parents, and we got a nice bottle of wine and steaks and whatever. Yeah, it was good. But,
did you get an "I told you so" with your parents? Like, I told you so. I told you all this. My lady stuff was there was money in it.
Well, they used to like rag on my Twitter because it's really unfiltered, and I just say whatever the hell I want. And they were like, "You can't be saying these things," and I'm like, go kick rocks. And so I did get to do like an "I told you so."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely, like, it's kind of a just total full house, or I guess royal flush on the table. You can't really, like, you know, there's no coming back. I was right to tweet.
My mom wouldn't even watch me on Dr. Phil. She wouldn't even watch the episode. We had a big watch party at my parents' house. She's like, "I'm not watching this shit. I'm out of here." She still doesn't like it, but I think I have a son now, so she's like, "I don't give a shit about anything anymore. All I care about is your son."
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, what did you find? Can you go over some of the biggest findings you have? Because it's like, it's just fucking, it's sickening, man. The amount of money these cocksuckers stole from us, these Somalians and these boomer fucks like Tim Waltz. It's just sickening. I want you to make me as sick as possible with what you found.
Okay, sick as possible. You can go to, I'm wondering, so that's sort of one thing I'm working on is how to display all of the data. So I have almost 800 million rows in a database right now.
Cool.
And displaying that in a coherent way through like a website dashboard is apparently kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So I can tell you this, from everything I've seen and all of the budgets I've seen, which they're, I was going to say, spending, I think there's if you go to database and then click the little arrow, and then there's a state budgets thing. and you can click on it.
Okay, let me see. Spending Explorer.
No, backup database.
Okay, spending.
And there's a little arrow beside spending.
Okay.
You got to click that, and then like there's state budgets.
State budgets. Okay.
And this is for, you know, like 2020 and on. I haven't really I haven't updated it yet, but for basically all of these states, at least 80%, and I know this to be a very close estimate, is either fraud or waste. It's probably closer to 90%.
Oh man.
The amount of direct fraud is that I can absolutely prove. It depends on the state, obviously. Somewhere like California, it's maybe 20.
California, I see $500 billion in expenditure, 12,000 per capita, and you're saying that 80 to 90% of this is fraud.
Mm-hmm.
This is spending per capita, 12,000.
Fraud and waste. You can't say, I mean, and arguably the fraud or the waste is sort of the vehicle for the fraud. So it's kind of,
right.
You know, what's but that it's direct fraud that like I can safely say.
How can you safely say it's fraud?
Just spending patterns. It's like obvious, you know, like how much are like Indiana, they spend $1.25 billion a year on a foster system that takes care of 12,000 kids. So they're spending $120,000 per kid per year on, you know, and none of it's going.
I don't spend that much on my kid. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's outrageous. And so that alone, you can just look at the number and then look at the kids, and then that's bullshit. That's insane. The system has 4,000 employees. They're spending $350 million a year just on salaries for the people that take care of the foster kids that just monitor like the foster system as a whole. And this is like a whole, you know, it's
and
also
isn't
the
like
court
I
system.
mean, isn't foster care like shitty? Like that guy Merlogic, you know, the guy that like fucks Wonder Bread. He was raised in the foster system, and every time he calls in, he's got horror stories of what he went through as a kid, and then like even now, like as an adult, it's not great. You're telling me that we've dumped about $4 million into Merlogic, and his life is where it is? That fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just and the tricky thing is that not all of that is directly going into people like a Somalian's purse, you know. It's going to it's the facilitation of the bloat and the amount of money that is like directly, you know, the dollars that are being spent on like a new like an Hermes bag from this total budget.
Yeah.
It's really small because the total it's just absurd bloating. And then that's where the fraud is able to kind of take advantage of that. And kind of, it's really easy to lie and get $10 million from the government when, you know, you're in a system, whether like Medicaid, you know, and your state has a $10 billion annual Medicaid budget. It's really easy to steal $10 million,
right?
Less than 0.1%. You know, it's really easy to get away with that. But yeah, so it's, I mean, and this is just states federally. A lot of these states are subsidized federally. But federally, it's about the same. Federally, it's closer to 85%.
Jesus, and that's just like you're with your foster care example. It's just like paying fat women to send emails all day about how they're monitoring like the shitholes that they put kids in, basically. Yeah. And more funding doesn't fix it, and also like makes
growth.
Yeah,
exactly. It just feeds the monster. Like percentage growth year over year is a really good example or like indicator for how to fraud. So looking at that is a really helpful thing. Like in Minnesota, the spending for it's called EIB TDA, I think. I don't have it memorized, the acronym. It's for autism care. I don't have it memorized because every time I say it, I think of EBITDA, and it's not that, but they use the same word, the same letters, but in a different order.
Okay.
But so they were spending in 2017, if I remember correctly, like $5 million a year on autism care.
Yeah. Okay.
In 2025, it's closer to $340 million a year, which is a percentage increase that's so large you can't even really quantify it in percentages. It's obscene. It's like a 70x. Yeah. And the population stayed the same. The number of autistic kids stayed the same. How did the spending 76x in less than a decade?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And the answer is they're just, they found a leaky faucet and they just turned it on and started taking money. And so that's another really good indicator. And there's a ton of things like that. Like
there's like the hospice care in California, right? Where we have like 35 times, like hospice is for people that are dying, but somehow California has 35 times per capita the hospice centers of anywhere else. Like you should always be one, because it's like the people are dying. That's it. There's no, not more people are dying here.
Well, they say that it's because California is where people go to retire, so of course they're going to have more, like dead old people that need hospice or whatever. But the numbers just don't add up.
Yeah,
and that's another thing is per capita spending, population growth are just really good indicators for what like a spending increase. Like if you could really justify a spending increase in terms of like caring for people or whatever else. And most of the time the numbers just don't add up. Actually, every single time the numbers don't add up. Sometimes the numbers go down and the spending still increases. It's backwards.
It's crazy, man, because how old are you ish? Like what?
I'm 20.
You're 25-ish?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I'm 45-ish. We've known our whole lives that the government was raping us and wasting money, but I hate the government more than anybody I know, probably. And anyone I've ever met. I've never imagined that it was to this degree. Like when they're throwing out figures like $1 trillion in fraud, I'm saying, wait a minute, I would have thought it was 20-30%, but you're saying 90%? So when you're putting this together, like it's like you guys found a way to fix, like, to hit people's infographic itch. Like they want to have an infographic. They don't want to read anything. They just want a bubble graph to point at and click on. And like, it's like that. Would you like to know more from Starship Troopers? Like, would you like to know more? Like, here's how you're getting raped by the government. Would you like to know more? Like, yeah, I would like to know more. Click on that. We've never seen it. We've never seen anything like it. There's never been anything like it. It's always been what you're doing has always been wrapped up in like weird policy, like Ron Paul shit, where I got to read a bunch of garbage to get like a taste of the fraud. But now when I go to your site, it's just like a fucking fire hose of like, oh wow, okay, what's next? Like where do we like? Got it. Awesome. I can show this to anybody. This is right here. Right. This is where you're getting. This is where all the money's gone. Right here.
This is the place where they're touching you.
What do we do?
And it's, well, we find more. I mean, we start to quantify, and I think this is something that is so blatantly bipartisan, regardless of the, category.
Yeah.
Obviously, the left loves to champion Medicaid. They love to champion, like daycares and shit like that. They love whatever, immigration, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
A section of the fraud that's pretty fucking huge. It's pretty big. It's probably bigger than what the right champions, which is like, contracts and like security and like
guns,
growth. Yeah, contractors. And like the right loves.
I would think
Deloitte.
black people would be really pissed off that they're not getting this money. Like all this money could be going directly to American black people, right?
I know. And I think we're starting to see like a lot of black people that I talk to that we both know that we do not agree on a lot of things, but
Yeah.
they're both like, we can both agree that like,
they
I'm like,
want more money.
The Somalis taking your fucking cheddar, and if you want more cheddar, you got to help me get rid of these fucking people.
Yeah.
And then you're you can buy whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's fine.
You get 2 Hermes bags. Well, you got 1.
Yeah.
You're getting ripped off.
And you can get like a real Hellcat instead of a Scat Pack, and like, it'll be, you can get one with the real badges instead of the shit you super glued on. But like,
it's true though.
No, I mean, it is, and they know it, and I know it, and they agree, and they're like, yeah, dude. So it's kind of something, and money is everybody needs money. It doesn't. I don't really care who you are. You need money. It's oxygen, and it's something I think that people who don't want to commit suicide on the altar of, like, a trillion brown people that don't speak English, would agree is like an important thing. And I think that's where the power is that it's bipartisan. I don't even want to say common sense, because that is like a partisan issue.
They ruined that shit. Common sense. You can't say that anymore.
Totally. But it's just, I mean, like, okay, whatever you pay in taxes this year for 2025, it's lighting money on fire.
It should be nothing. Whatever you're paying, it should be nothing. This year is the first time I felt really like sick about paying taxes, about paying my quarterly, about paying my estimates. I'm like, man, this is the first time I feel really like bad and dirty and pissed off. Like, I've always hated it, but that paying your share shit kind of sinks in after a while. Like, well, I guess if a bunch of, retarded people need money, like, whatever, I guess this is for them. But this is the first time I really felt like it was just getting lit on fire.
Yeah, there's a pothole outside of my neighborhood. You turn, leave my neighborhood, you turn right, there's a fucking massive pothole. Yeah. And I've avoided, obviously, but every time I see it, I'm like, why the fuck am I paying taxes? If I have to drive over one single pothole, they failed. They're not doing their job.
I think that was a Married with Children episode.
I mean, they did it. The founding fathers, they did it for way less. It was like a percentage increase on tea, and they're like, "Yeah, we're killing fucking everybody."
Well, it's like you could see it though. Like, if I'm the founding father and I see a red coat coming in, their problem was they wore those red coats. If I see him coming in, it's like shaking me down for $20. I'm like, that guy took my money. I'm gonna kill you. But today, I got to just write a check to guys that are 800 miles away, and then, I don't know, I walk outside and everyone's still homeless. I'm like, I don't know. Who do I have to kill? I'll do it, but I need an infographic to tell me who to kill, quite frankly. I need an AI to say, like, I really need like a Patriot AI. Has Torba reached out to you to give you free compute? That fucking guy? Did you see the guy that trained that used Claudebot to like guess what the government document URLs were?
Oh yeah.
And then he pulled out all the
I took his idea, and I did that too, and it was a really good idea. And they still haven't changed it, I think. So
oh yeah, that cost another $1 trillion to change it. When the fuck are they going to do that?
It would be 4 years behind schedule and $5 billion over budget. But I think just like it's really easy to call your congressman or email them. They have to answer, or at least get back with them. And they do. A lot of them do. And if enough people are like, stop spending my fucking money on bullshit, they will. But it's really, and it's like, I don't think that, okay, also 90% of the people in Congress are objectively corrupt. I have dossiers on like all of them, and they all suck.
Really?
They all suck. Yeah, it's like the earmarks that they that they go for, it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, the individual congressmen, like just random ones, like not even like Ilhan Omar. I mean, she's a prime example, like obviously, but she has like $100 million in earmarks, and it's like what the fuck? Yeah. What do you do? You are able to, you're allowed to section off $100 million for bullshit, and of course it's like to her like cousin's brother's fucking company that she used to work for that now manages some obscure like IT bullshit.
Yeah.
And or like housing or whatever. It's always housing. And so that is a little bit of a, it's a little bit of an issue, but they don't do it, I think, out of like from a normal perspective. I think if you're in Congress and you're not earmarking shit for your friends and family, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is robbing the treasury.
Yeah, why not?
And if you don't, like by the time we're out of money, you're going to be up shit's creek. And everybody, they all know we're running out of money. They all know that we're, always over budget, and that eventually, it's the system is now unsustainable. It's just that you immediately get indoctrinated. Like, I mean, not even like on purpose. It's just kind of subconsciously everybody else is breaking the rules, and you'd be stupid not to. And
it would be hazardous for you not to. Like,
yes,
they killed Serpico, right? Like, honest cops get killed. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you're absolutely right. But calling them, and like we have a lot more kind of influence than I think people realize. And the like the really kind of militant liberals and leftists know this really well. They are not that great in number, I think, but they just really work to push their
work hard
ideas.
Yeah, to fuck everyone over.
Hard. And
they're doing it all day. They're doing it all day long while you're out making money. They're trying to fuck you over.
And okay, that's the other thing, is that like all of these people that hate you and would like immolate for like just self-immolate on the altar of like a Somalian daycare that doesn't even operate as daycare. The funding and organization from this is just your tax dollars.
Yeah.
So that's the amount of money that slips by through like direct fraud. I think about 20% of it roughly goes back into campaigns through the FEC. And then maybe another 20%, maybe 10 to 20% goes directly to individuals, whether it be either politicians or like organizers. Like, so did you see Tim Walz's lieutenant governor was heading up one of these like signal chats and like organizing
of
all the protests and everything, and
like de-arresting people.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, she was like organized, like literally like in the trenches of these protests, talking and directing people, and also getting signage made and like organizing it from a managerial perspective of like how to transport people and who pays for that. And I'll tell you, it's the LLC that has real estate in Saudi Arabia, or even literally even in Somalia, where they funnel the cash back to and then launder it. And they're using your tax dollars to fund all of this. Because these people, they're not rich, but they have to have money to eat and resource to be able to live. And so how do you pay for somebody to just totally, sit and monitor a signal group chat and direct and organize protests and things like that? And how do you they have full-time workers, and they're all being paid for with fraud money, basically. So all of that to say, if we fix the fraud, I think we fix a lot of other problems.
Every little piece of fraud you fix makes the system a little bit weaker. It seems like they got one less person to make calls. They got one less person to make signs and obfuscate the whole system. It's funny. So during the last election, my other show, Biggest Problem, we got approached to do a presidential ad from I forget, it was Vito got approached. Obviously, I'm not getting approached because people know I'm gonna fuck it up. It was this girl with huge tits. I forget what her name was, but she asked Vito for us to do an ad, and the ad copy was all jumbled up. Like, I've gotten a lot of ad copy to read. I've sent a lot of ad copy out. The ad copy that they sent us it had different names attached to it, different websites. It was like for the win something.win.com. It was another organization that came in. The money came in, it was just like a PayPal deposit of cash. And they said, just talk about, just get people to vote. So talk about what's important to you. So we're reading the ad, and Vito does his. He's like, yeah, voting is important. It's like a normal ad. And I said, what's important to me is not voting for a pedophile. So I'm voting for Trump. It was like, my ad was just, it was totally inappropriate. Like, obviously they were going to piss off. And my evidence was that an AI said that Tim Walz was a pedophile. So I brought that in. And I said, his computer said, so the computer must know. It was totally retarded. And they flipped out. Like, they threatened to sue us, or we'd have to do it again. It was a week before the election. And the whole time, like, I don't give a fuck, fuck them, suck my cock. But the whole time I was really floored by how disorganized it was on every piece of it. Like, it was just like these people were just getting cash from random accounts and then divvying it out to pay for stuff. It was shocking, the level of how disorganized it was, I guess.
Yeah, well, they have basically a ridiculous influx of cash, and they can't really have an organized structure to disperse it because it's stolen money. So, you can't exactly create a corporation that is able to, pay people and manage ads and do marketing, and as well as manage campaigns and things like that, because then it's all even more on the record.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it has to be a little bit of like a backyard garage shop. And I think your instinct is totally correct there. It's obviously disorganized, but they still are able to, just by sheer, like, I don't know, like sheer hatred of themselves or whatever, like, just make it happen. It's like they want all of us to commit suicide with them.
Oh, women, like, when women get an idea in their head, they could do a lot. It's not, none of it will be tracked.
Yeah.
It won't be organized, and it won't be for a good reason. But, if one of them is turning 40, a lot of them can make a bunch of dumb decisions in a row without tracking any of it.
Yeah, it's just by its nature. It's like, it's like it's like a guerrilla sort of system, and that's sort of what Antifa is. It's a bunch of women over 40 that like really are mad at their ex-husbands or never husbands or whatever, or maybe themselves because they're kind of fat, but they are able to just sort of put it together. And so if we fix the fraud, if we at least cut the spending a little bit a little bit at a time, I think it's something. Also, if you're loud about it, like a lot of people think that talking on social media, while it is sort of a load of bullshit, it does actually matter a lot. And if
it's advertising, it's like the most important thing. You could have a great product, but you need ads. Or you got nothing.
And so if the fraud kind of takes mind share, I think it just kind of naturally does.
Yeah.
Like it's held its own pretty well, I think, against the Epstein sort of like doc release, which was really curious timing in my mind. But the
beef jerky eating beef jerky made out of kids. People aren't.
Oh yeah, with the famous chef and I did like a cursory look through it, and it just like I was like, okay, there's enough in here for me. If I was a prosecutor, I have names, addresses, businesses, times, correspondence. There's enough in there for you to start arresting people. And I'm sure the DOJ has a lot more, information that they've obviously withheld, whether it be like investigative purposes or not. But there's enough in there to prosecute, and I don't think they're going to. And I think it was just sort of like a big, that was sort of the oh shit button that they were kind of waiting to press. And I think their hand was forced by just the Minnesota stuff. Like, I mean, the tide was totally turning.
That's interesting.
People are being stolen, and I mean, that's like, because what does it do? I mean, what does releasing all of it do? I guess it radicalizes whoever wants to hate whatever politician. They're probably in there, a connection to them, whatever. I mean, the left uses it to disparage Trump, the right uses it to disparage Bill Clinton or whatever else. And it's like,
there's somebody for everybody in the Epstein files. It's great. If you got kids, there's stuff. Exactly. If you want to eat kids, there's stuff for you.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
If you want to learn how to grow like a rape tree, which I read about the other day.
There's ciphers. Wait, a rape tree? What's a rape tree?
It's a tree that grows scopolamine and like the flowers and like in the seeds. And scopolamine's like if you dose somebody with it, they'll stay completely conscious and do whatever you want.
Okay.
Really? Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings
in Colombia.
Stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, literally
okay.
Yeah. But,
there's something for everybody.
But I mean, yes. Yeah, so it's like, to me, it just felt like, okay, this is like obviously kind of irrelevant. It doesn't, like, none of this information. I think the Doge dump on Medicaid data was like far and away much more useful for the American people to be able to actually fix something. Like the Epstein stuff is just like, or at least the files, it just seemed like it was noise generation and fuel for everybody to prove themselves right. Because anything you want, if you want to talk shit about somebody, like you probably find something about them in the Epstein files.
It's like how Cat Turd said, like, well, I'm not in the Epstein files, are you? And then his community note, Cat Turd is in the Epstein files. Like he's talking to it's that Spider-Man meme. Like, you're in the Epstein files. Like, you're in the guys, you should both be hanged. Like, that's the point. We can't do anything with this, but we can do something with the data. Like it's kind of you're talking about AI. It's interesting because it used to be something like this would happen, 100, 200 years ago, 200, 300 years ago. You could just kill the people who are doing it. You can't do that anymore. But you can run a bunch of AI shit and produce and actually make a difference in the same way, which it seems like what's finally happening.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's true.
The issue was that prior to like Opus 4.5, the sheer amount of manpower required to process, ingest, enrich this level of data, this amount of data would be, 5 years ago, this would be a $10 billion like project.
Yeah.
From the private sector, you would have to raise that much, and you would have to hire, I don't know, tens of thousands of people to help manage it. And now, if you have 100 people and each of them are somewhat competent with Claude, you can go. You can just plow through data like at a rate that is just unbelievable, and it's unprecedented. And so now we have a high-speed rail basically for the elimination of the elimination of obfuscation is what I was going to say, but that's a little pretty. I don't know.
No, that's good.
Maybe
it's true.
Maybe it ticks. Yeah. Maybe it's good. But the sheer size and scale. I don't even know. Like, I can't conceptualize $1 trillion. I don't know even what that is.
I need an infographic. That's really the point.
Yes, dude,
I just really need an infographic.
Show me an infographic, and so that sort of scale is just impossible, I think, for humans. But we have now this natural language interface for compute, that's really all AI is just the ability you can now talk to a computer and tell it to do what you want.
Yeah.
And We never had to, you had to, write code and test scripts and do all these things. We never had like the ability to write a sentence and then the computer does what it wants. It was really all like a building and then, a shipping process where not all of the compute was used at once or in an efficient manner. And now we have the dam is broken on compute. And now, your grandma can ask Grok or whatever, well, how much did California spend on the high-speed rail project? Which, by the way, that's fucking hilarious. I looked into it for a little bit, and it's like they hired like a Spanish company. First of all, they spent like $30 billion to not build a single foot of high-speed rail. Not one, like, and it's been like 5 years. Like they were not going to build like anything from the start.
They built a warehouse and then the warehouse burned down.
Yeah, which is convenient. But that's all. I mean, it's like just absolutely nothing happened. But even for somebody who was really motivated to look into that without AI, it would be really difficult.
Yeah,
it would be really, really difficult.
Yeah,
and so now we have, I think, within the next year, I think that every penny that the government has spent will be attributed to something, at least outside of like defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside, I'm leaving defense alone because like the dollar is just backed by,
because they have
like,
guns. Don't mess with them.
Yeah. Like however many like kids we from in a country that's like 10,000 miles away is whatever the dollar's worth.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with spending money on that because it's the only thing we have to back our currency at this point. But
we don't have to pay the disabled ones though. All those guys that are on Caleb Hammer's show saying that they're like that they pooped in their pants and now they're on like $4,000 a month of veteran disability or some shit.
I've met like 4 guys who are around my age who literally just went in the military service to like lose their hearing and get like $2,000 a month.
Fucking
like it's
bullshit.
like kind of just like a total racket. But honestly, it's such a small number.
Yeah.
And the amount of money is large, granted, just by itself, but as a percentage of the total like waste, like honestly, man, and a lot of those guys are like kind of normal, like fit dudes. I'm okay. They can freeload and be pieces of shit if they want to. At least they're not like gonna, like I don't know, castrate their kids. Like at least it's
castrate
like
my
some
kids.
level.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Campaign for castrating your kids or killing.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm like we can empower them with fucking rent money for a month.
Yeah, that's fine. They're just gonna lose it to a stripper. That's fine.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's fine. And then but the general like systemic thing, I think it also just starts locally, and it's like anybody. I mean, I had a little bit of a head start on the AI stuff. I kind of was working in like data pipelines. So this is actually, it was really convenient that it ended up, being a massive boost for me. But I think now, regardless of experience, if you have, $300 a month and, an extra few hours here and there, you can fire up, local AI, whatever it would be, terminal, like Claude Code's a good one, or even just like on your phone, you could just use the Claude app and start doing research. You could start figuring out your county, your city, your state.
Yeah.
And it'll continue to get a lot easier as AI gets better and more usable. And I think it's just like the transparency doesn't really have to be there. It's a really small number of people that can affect massive difference now. So, it's start locally. And I kind of haven't really focused on my state and city because I don't really want to. It's a lot easier to like just talk about California, but I feel like if I dig into my state, I'll have to like go and,
No, you're representing the whole country now. We need bigger stuff out of Beaver. Where can people go if they want to like learn from you and help you and be involved? Do you have anything like that? Do you have like a furry chat
Twitter,
or something people could go in?
No, I don't. I have.
You're not some kind of fucking weirdo pedophile, are you? Secretly, because we have too many. All of our guys that we elevate on the right turn out to be weird fucks. And it sucks.
No,
It fucking
I'm
sucks.
actually really normal. I'm I don't know, I guess like mostly normal. I've got a little bit of autism, but no, I was right wing before it was cool. And I wanted to like, help fix America, but I was poor.
Yeah.
And I had my first business was like a pressure washing company, which is like what everybody does when they drop out of college.
Hell yeah.
And I was like going to the gym. I was like, I'm gonna fucking make $1 million a year pressure washing.
Pressure wash the earth.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna pressure wash the earth. And I was like living with my parents, and
my brother-in-law did that for like a month. Pressure wash.
Dude, I mean, yeah, it's like every guy, you got to at least have a pressure washer. But no, and I kind of switched over just to like making money and trying to build a system of life for myself to where I'm not reliant on like a job. And so that was my shift. I was just a very hardworking, little bit retarded entrepreneur, but no, I wasn't even like cool enough to get invited to the island or anything. They probably didn't even know who I am. So, I mean, I was a little bit disappointed when they released it and they didn't even talk about me. I was like, really, guys? Like, I thought I was cool, but I guess not.
So they didn't have any like bad boys on Epstein's island, did they? That's what I would have done. I would have raped everyone, even the men there.
It's just like mega predators.
Like, get this guy out of here. This guy's kicked off of Pedo Island. He raped everyone, even me. He raped the island. Yeah. If I would go, I really want to go. The next one, who's ever doing that, invite me.
No, it's the ranch. I think they're still doing the ranch. There's another one.
Oh, the Zorro Ranch?
Yeah, well, it's a different one now. I don't remember what it was called. Oh. But no, I mean, I found out about like the whole Epstein, like the Pizzagate shit. I like really early, like before it was called Pizzagate, and like before that guy died. What was his name? Whoever the whistleblower was on what was it, like Cosmic Pizza or some shit, and the police killed him. That's when it all blew up.
The guy that shot the hard drive, that guy?
Yeah, I think it was him.
Yeah.
No, he didn't shoot the hard drive.
No.
What's his name?
Seth
no,
Rich?
He was like whistleblowing the whole. Huh?
Seth Rich?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was one of them, and then the other one, Isaac Cappy. They took him out in the desert and shot him in
really
Death Valley.
Oh,
sucks.
Geez.
Yeah, dude.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, Tom Hanks posted
kill
on his Instagram.
Wait, really?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, he posted like a glove. I mean, I don't really remember all this, but I was like really conspiracy. I was like, holy shit, it's all a lie. Like, killing us. They've like fucking hate us, and but I was still like poor, and my life wasn't really good, so I decided driving myself insane with like all the theory.
Bad time for if you're poor. Getting into conspiracy shit's a bad thing.
No,
it's a bad look.
It's the only time I had the time. I was like, oh shit, like but
my friends tell me about nano machines and 5G. I'm like, you need to get a fucking job. You need to get a 5J job, bro. Worry about nano machines.
5 pillars of Uncle
you have credit card debt, nano machines and 5G is not.
It's not your problem.
Seed oils. Yeah, seed oils are not going to be the thing that makes your life worse. If you're unemployed.
Having a fucking cavity is going to make your life worse because you got no dental insurance. That's going to be the end of you, not nano machines.
Yeah, how do you think the cavity got there?
The cavity nano machines in my teeth, man.
Fluoride. The fluoride in the water that gives you cavity.
You can't afford fluoride.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for calling in. I really want to.
Of course, thank you.
I hope you have a thing for people to get involved because I'm sure there's a lot of programmers that want to help, and it seems like you've started a movement, and that's why you got $1 million. So congratulations.
Well, I did. I don't know. I don't feel like I did anything special. Just feels like I was just right place, right time, and I had a bunch of days on my hands that I could just kind of,
That's
grow
what-
into this. But
That's what the guy from Star Trek who invented the warp drive said. Cochrane, what was his name? Just a man. I'm not a great man. I'm just a man. And then Riker says, "I'm not a great," and he goes, "Who said that?" And he goes, "You did." What was his name? Fucking Cochrane. It wasn't Johnny Cochrane, was it? They didn't have the same name as the warp drive
That would have been
guy.
fucking great. Yeah.
No, they're different.
Dick
Dude,
Cochrane.
my Star,
was that
I don't
his
have
name?
time for Star. I gotta save America. I can't be watching fucking Star Trek.
Ooh, you better watch it. All right. Get out of here,
No, I'm
Avery.
kidding.
Thanks. Enjoy your money.
Thanks,
Get yourself
Take
something
care.
nice.
I will. Don't worry. I will.
All right. Goodbye.
Presenting.